brothers and sisters from all across the world, to another day of Morning Heart Devotion. And to start us off, we'd like to offer a greeting to our Heavenly Parent and true parents. 천징 참부님께 경배! 바로! And to lead us through the family pledge, I'd like to invite up Reverend Milhan Stevens.
There we go. Okay. 가정맹세 1. 천혜의극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조의 상인 지상천국과 천상천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천혜의극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국계에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천혜의극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇族권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천혜의극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조의 상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천혜의극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천혜의극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천혜의극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천혜의극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 천혜의극 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Reverend Stevens. And to open us up in prayer, I'd like to invite up Mr. Anton Smirnov. If you can please unmute yourself.
Thank you so much. Please join my prayer. Good morning. Holy Father, true parents, right now is the last day of the workshop in Los Angeles, second last day. We really pray for the brothers and sisters who are attending this workshop. Also could come for 120 pastors workshop. And also next workshop will be in New York. And we really appreciate our elder brother, Dr. Yong. He is explaining the word from our beloved true mother. So we repent we can't understand by ourselves. So many times she talked to us, but we still so much can get it. And I really pray, Holy Father, so we could really open our heart to receive your word this morning and really be able to practice it. And I pray, report all these things in the name of Anton Smirnov, Sons of Blessed Family, Agile.
아주.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Anton, Shibnov. Thank you. 감사합니다.
Thank you. And with that, brothers and sisters, we will be going into our breakouts so we can share our appreciation points for today. And if you are joining here by yourself, then you can also take this time to reflect. And with that, let us go into breakouts. I hope you had a wonderful time sharing with each other your appreciation points and lifting up each other's spirits in that way. And now, to be able to share with the whole group, I'd like to invite up Mr. Sebastian Huemer. If you can please unmute yourself and share your appreciation point.
All right. Thank you, Yasu-san. I knew that you were going to ask either one of us, Steve and myself. I was in the breakout room with Osawa-san and with Stephen Gab. And my appreciation is that True Mother sent Dr. Young as a representative of the father nation of Korea. And that True Mother said the other day that she's not a representative. She is the only begotten daughter. And what came to mind is that when Philip asked Jesus, show us the Father and everything's going to be all right, and Jesus said, what are you talking about? You see the Father. When you see me, you see the Father. So the same thing is true for True Mother. What are we talking about? Show us God. Well, look at True Mother. You see God. And this time it's the manifestation, the incarnation of God in Eve, and she is the latest model, the last creation. So we're looking at the final artwork and the final creation of the universe that God made, and we got to get our hearts into that and realize that Philip was another person with a nose and particular face. Each one of us is on this physical earth with a physical body. And True Mother is a physical person. Actually, when we look at True Mother, we see God. And in particular, the latest part of God, the latest. So this was really revolutionary, and that's why it's going to take some time. And the other thing that I really appreciate is the two parents designating each one of the nations, especially the providential nations right now, as father nation, mother nation. Korea is a father nation, and Japan is the mother nation. And well, the United States is now the elder son nation. Naturally, immediately came Canada into mind, the elder daughter nation. So, well, when are they going to get married? So I'm here up in upstate New York, and I'm close to Canada. We have always had a good relationship with the members in Canada. So I thought, interesting. I look up to my elder sister here to Canada. So I'm really grateful for Canada. And even though I'm not by birth an American, but I feel like Two Fathers said, while you work in the country and sacrifice for 2 months, you become a citizen of that country. So I'm an American. Sebastian Wolfgang Huema is an American. Everybody, please let me tell you that. Well, I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Adieu.
Thank you, Sebastian. You are beautiful sharing. Yeah, you are right. You clearly explain about the position of the mother. Really, 감사합니다. Really, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sebastian. And next, I'd like to invite up Mrs. Beryl Green to share her appreciation. So, Mrs. Green, please unmute yourself.
Oh my God. Good morning, everyone. I am privileged. I was privileged to have Dr. Young in my breakout room, and I just want to express my gratitude, for having Dr. Young in our lives. I told him I have Yojanin picture looking straight at me in my room. Because when I came to the United States and a lot of stuff was happening, I remember praying for Yojanim and Sanjanim a lot, this condition every morning until I see the changes that I needed to see, because I know Yojanim really love our true mother. So, we have to understand that we have to love and take care of the true children, not to judge or criticize them, but really to invest and pray for them. Then, over the years, I really want to, when we were preparing to go to Korea, because our true mother, anyway, we were preparing to we were preparing to go to Korea, and I remember, you know, they changed the airline call to make a change and said that wanted to know if I wanted back my fare because they weren't allowing trip to China through China to Korea, and so I remember I was in pain, lots of pain, but the night I saw at the anniversary of our two parents, I saw true mother. She wasn't able to stand; she was sitting, and that night I felt so much pain. And I felt I was so saddened inside. So I did a 7-day condition. Still preparing to go to Korea, but I did a 7-day condition. And I traveled on the 7th day and I reached to Korea. And then I remember when we were sitting down waiting for True Mother to walk in. I had two sisters beside me, and I held up. When we stood up, I held on to their hand, just like how we had two people taking True Mother up, and I was praying for her. I was praying for Pep to be in her step, for her to be strengthened. And I saw her walking faster. So I really feel that sometimes when we're going through things, we have to understand it. We have to pray for our True Mother because we never know, you know. And she is the mother of all humankind. She is precious. And Dr. Young came here to resurrect us. No matter where we think we are, we need some resurrection somewhere. And so God sent him to this nation to lift us up, to help us to understand deeply the true parents, the true family, and where we can become the best child of God, the best son and daughter of filial piety to serve God. So I thank God for sending Dr. Young to us
Okay,
because
thank
we are
you.
going right.
Thank you,
God
Heavenly
bless.
Green. Mrs. Green, thank you so much. Whenever I see you, you always show me the green sign, beautiful green sign. Very much hopeful. Thank you. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Mrs. Green, for your sharing. And thank you, everybody, brothers and sisters, for sharing as well with each other. And now, to go into our main internal guidance, to receive it, let us open up our hearts and our minds and welcome our Continental Director, Dr. Chung Sik Yong. So, good morning, Dr. Yong.
네. 안녕하세요. Good morning. Good morning. 오하요 고자이마스. 니하오마. 봉주아. Buenos días. Buongiorno. Guten Morgen. Selamat pagi. Dobraye utra. Peace, Shalom, Salam Alaikum. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Sawadikap. Namaste. My dear brothers and sisters, clergies and ambassadors for peace. 안녕하십니까? Greeting, Namaste. I think most of the Hinduism people, Indian people, and then also the Nepalese people their main greeting is Namaste. Very beautiful greetings. So I'd like to ask all our brothers and sisters really pray for India. Can you imagine that every day, I think more than 300,000 people, got a virus. So much miserable situation. I know India very, very well. I think we really need to pray, the nation of India really overcome. They are a very poor country. I think we really need to help. I heard that American government going to help now Indian nation. Anyway, my brothers and sisters, yes, the day before yesterday, I met True Mother, and yesterday and today I heard that True Mother is very seriously preparing, her 정성 for tomorrow's Chongpyeong great work. So I'd like to encourage all our brothers and sisters to listen and Mother's word. Yes. Yesterday I talked about True Mother's word in April 28, 2021 at Cheonjeonggung. Today I'd like to talk about God of love and Jesus, given not only love, but also trials and hardships. I'd like to invite Heavenly Honey to read Father's word.
God and Jesus of love give not only love, but also trials and hardships. A history of conflict is unavoidable for fallen human beings. God and Jesus do not only give us love. The God of love and Jesus of love will sometimes also give us trials and hardships, making them a God of judgment and Jesus of judgment. Consequently, you must know that God is not only a God of love, and Jesus is not only a Jesus of love, but that they both give us trials and hardships, and we must have the mindset to still attend them regardless. Only then can you receive the love of God and the love of Jesus, and all of the heavenly laws as well as the earthly laws will revolve around your victorious self.
Thank you, Heavenly Honey. Father just now saying that God of love and Jesus give not only love, but also trials and hardships. A history of conflict is unavoidable for fallen human beings. As long as Satan exists, there is a conflict. As long as a fallen nature exists, there is a battle between God and Satan. And there is a battle between good and evil as well. This is a really important point about we need to know that, where there is a good and evil, always there is must be a battle. Therefore, if humans are not trained, they naturally become evil and become lazy. That's why human beings need to train up. So see how God trained the central figures and Jesus and true parents. Our life's course is a repetition of the trials and blessing, as you know that. Very important point. Where there is a God and Satan, there is always a serious battle. Since Adam and Eve fell, we need to know very important thing, this one. So as long as God and Satan do exist, then we need to know that how can we overcome that kind of conflict? So if we do not train up properly, our body easily go to the Satan, easily become the lazy. That's why we need to know that God does exist, Satan does exist, and goodness does exist, evil does exist. Therefore, there is always conflict as well. In order to overcome that kind of history of the conflict, we need to have serious training. And also we need to really always need to receive a lot of the education from God's word. No education by God's word, no training about my own self, then my mind is to easily follow the physical desire and then become really serious problems. Therefore, in order to overcome fallen nature, there must be a trial to overcome this. Through trials, it is divided into God's side and Satan's side. If you win the trials and then become God's side, if you lose, when you fight with Satan and evil, if you lose, and then become Satan's side. That's why this is our portion of responsibility. You win or not. If you really win your trials and conflict, and then become God's side. When you lose, you will become Satan's side. Therefore, God needs to see this kind of reality centering on fallen human being. That's why as a parent's position, as the position of the Jesus, as the position of the Messiah, not just only encourage them, not just only giving love them, let them become very, very strong. Otherwise, all become Satan's children. That's why when parents love their own children, always giving them very serious training. Otherwise, their parents lose their own children. We need to know that. That's why Father saying that God of love and Jesus give not only love, but also trials and hardships. When you overcome trial and hardships, become more stronger and become more, you are become stronger and you can grow up more faster. That's why definitely we need to overcome trials and hardships. The reason why I have trials and suffering is to be liberated from Satan. This is the final conclusion. In order to liberate from the Satan, I need to overcome trial and suffering. Where there is a trial and suffering, this is my job to overcome. When completely overcome my trial and suffering, Satan cannot intervene anymore. Therefore, God definitely always give the task of conflict to anyone. It means to go forward step by step. So this is a really important point about that. And then God used a stick and carrot approach to grow me and grow you. How do we use the stick and carrot? I really admire my wife, how she raised up, her own children. Wow, sometimes she's very severe. Sometimes really give incredible love to them. That's why as a parent, as a leader, as a able, how to really train, our own children, our second generation well, not just only encouraging the love. Of course, we need to encourage them. We need to raise up them very well. Sometimes we need to tell them very clearly what is good, what is evil, how to distinguish good and evil. This is a very important point. Just let them decide everything without disturbing, then we will lose our own children. Human grow through the trials and grace. Therefore, you need to be grateful because a trial come to upgrade you. That's why you need to overcome all kinds of the trial and test. Our life of faith, trial and test. That series of the trial and test. Through this way, we are growing up and growing up and growing up. So please read another slide.
The method to remove Satan. Satan will try and rob the heart. Therefore, when you receive Satan's attack, you have to go beyond the standard which Satan asks of you by several times. When you go beyond his limit, Satan will fall away from you. Then how much further beyond the limit must you go? You have to go beyond the limit of sorrow caused by the fall of Adam and Eve. When you achieve this, Satan cannot intervene. This is because Satan has dominated human beings from below this standard. When you enter a more sorrowful state than God from a public standpoint, Satan is not able to accuse you. This is the dividing line between Satan's side and God's side. When you suffer a lot from a public standpoint, Satan will completely surrender and you can enter heaven's side. From this point of view, what did Jesus' cross decide? Jesus felt an even greater sorrow than God did when Adam and Eve fell while he was on the cross. And because the cross was where humanity's worst suffering was felt, it became the dividing line for good and evil.
Thank you, Heavenly Honey. The method to remove Satan. Why is Satan my enemy? He stole the heart of God. He stole the heart of the parents and child. He stole husband and wife. And he stole my heart. That's why Satan is my enemy. Satan raped my wife, raped my husband, raped my children, my daughter, and my parents. Adam and Eve, supposed to be our parents. We can forgive humans, but cannot forgive the evil itself. We must eliminate the evil. And Jesus said, forgive, 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 forgive. How many times you need to forgive? Uncountlessly you need to forgive. We need to forgive that person who commits sin. However, we cannot forgive the evil itself. We need to know that. Evil is our enemy. We cannot combine together between good and evil. Evil definitely have to remove. However, any fallen man commits sin, but that person originally is a good guy, but misused by Satan. The action of the evil completely have to remove. We need to know about that. Jesus said, forgive him, forgive him, forgive him. We need to forgive that person because he's the one who misused by Satan. However, we cannot remove his evilness because the Satan's identity is the king of the devil. We need to know that point, a very important point. Without removing about the evil, that person continuously commits sin again and again. But the person is God's sons and daughters. We need to forgive him, embrace him, encourage him to separate from the Satan. If you are attacked by Satan, fall into more than several times, the standard Satan wants. Be very humble and find a place that is more difficult and a place of hardships and sacrifices. Serve the other person unconditionally. Today, this is the key point. How to remove Satan. When you receive trial and test from the Satan, how do you win over Satan? How do you win over, the trials and tests and difficulties? Very important point. Number one, here mentioned that Father said, you have to be humble. If you are arrogant, if you insist on your own self very much, centering on self-center, you never overcome Satan's trial. Anyone become humble down, Satan cannot intervene at all. That's why anyone become really humble. Even though someone mistreat you, misuse your heart, try to really kill you, sometimes falsely accuse you, At that time, most important thing is what? Should be humble. Should be humble. This is a really important point. Secondly, how to remove Satan. When you receive that kind of trial and persecute you, firstly accuse you. This is my own experience. Sometimes I, mistreated by able central figures from many people, from my own family, my own tribe, whatever. How can I maintain my life of faith? I learned from true parents. You know what the second thing? Just serve. No matter what, just serve and serve and serve. And then always give. Someone persecute me, I need to give more. I need to do more 짝사랑 for him. Even though you betray me, I never betray you. Even though you dislike me, I still love you. So whenever I have sometimes difficult relationship with anyone, I need to list down about their name. Until now, I pray. And then I try not just only pray for that. I go back to him and then I say, apologize. And I try to serve more without much talking. That's why, to remove Satan, we know Satan. First one is humbleness. Second is always serving. Anyone serving for others, you always win over everywhere. And thirdly, you need to have appreciation. Any trial come, any test come, any persecution come, there is a reason why this kind of trial come to me. God asked me to grow up through this overcoming. That's why I always appreciate. And then I know that if I overcome this kind of situation, surely incredible God's grace and blessing come. Of course, I do not expect much about God's blessing and grace, but definitely blessing and God's grace will come. So always I remember 3 points. Be humble, and always serving, and always appreciation. Among 3 points, for me, my message, how to overcome any enemy, any Satan, any trial. When I am facing the most difficult time, how can I get energy? Giving. I want to give more, truly give more. Not just only prayer, not just only giving to that person. I try to serve and try to give more. Then I always can get energy. And then I can keep my life of faith. And automatically when I give, and then automatically I can feel like appreciation. God give me this kind of trial. Even though someone mistreat me and then persecute me, and then, I don't want to judge that guy. I try to appreciate that. That's why someone make me difficult. I think back my life, several people, when I grow up, someone make me very difficult. Not just only internal our members, even outside the people. Not so many people, but when I overcome, I felt that I really become I reach to different spiritual dimension. When I overcome my enemy, completely overcome, and then I feel that I already different dimension of the spiritual world, spiritual standard. That's why I like to meet any trials and tests, because this is a great opportunity to upgrade my spiritual standard and level. That's why anyone make me difficult, then I need to really, there is a reason why God give me this kind of trial and test. This is the reason. When I overcome, I feel that I can grow up. At the same time, I can feel that my heart is more become bigger, more embracing, more deeper. I can feel that, of course, this is my own standard. That's why I love trials. I love persecutions. I love difficulties. Why? I can grow up. That's why when we serving someone, always my heart automatically become very humble. Without humble, we cannot serve anyone. That's why Satan really dislike those who are humble, those who are serving, those who are appreciate in any circumstances. When Father said, when trial come, seek for 100 trials. When this happens, even Satan cannot interfere. Okay? When you're facing 10 trials, then you are ready. Okay, come more. More come. I am ready to overcome. When Father received torturing, so serious about the trial, and then beating, and then Father bleeding, and then Father never say, Heavenly Father, save me. Do you know how Father overcome? You need to hit more. You need to hit more. You win or I win. I know. I can overcome. You need to hit more through this way. If I and then overcome, and then this is the way to can save more people, I willingly can go this way. That's why do not avoid trial and test. You need to face that trial with confidence. You need to be ready. Okay, Satan, but God give you 10 trials. You need to facing 100 trials, 1,000 trials with confidence. Then Father said, even Satan cannot interfere. Enter a place that is more sorrowful than God in public affairs. Then Satan cannot accuse you. Father came as the Messiah. Jesus came as the Messiah. Mother came as the begotten daughter. But when we see their life, they are falsely charged and accused so many times. Father's persecution level is what? Not individual, not national level. Father Moon, Mother Moon, how much famous? Whole world know, recognize Father Moon, Mother Moon, not as the Messiah, as an evil man. Can you imagine Jesus, how much he got persecuted by Israel people, falsely charged and accused, but never make any excuses. So if you suffer a lot in a public place, you can completely conquer Satan and enter the heavenly side. Leaving one's hometown and country and going abroad for mission is the fastest way to pay the indemnity. That's why Father said, Japanese people need to get out from the Japan. Korean people need to get out from the Korea. Serving the world. In the past, Father mentioned many, many times. Now is really time of the settlement. Of course, we need to go to India and Nepal and other nations to serve the world. That also very important point. Now is the era of the settlement. That's why we need to know that our front line is our family. Of course, to raise up our children, need to send them to the world and let them have a beautiful experience as well. Since Jesus felt sorrow on the cross more than God's sorrow when Adam and Eve fell, and that was the place where he felt the worst pain of mankind, good and evil were divided there. Actually, when Jesus crucified on the cross, when Heavenly Father looked at this situation, this is the worst pain than Adam and Eve's fall. Can you imagine? God waited for 4,000 years, to send the Messiah. But this second, the human ancestor, again persecuted, mistreated, misused by the people, and then finally crucified on the cross. This is worse than Adam and Eve's fall. Problem is, under that situation, Jesus forgave his enemy, forgave the Jewish people, never make any excuses, and then Satan completely surrendered. Adam and Eve made excuses, but Jesus never made any excuses, never take for granted, accepted as the God's will. Wow. In such a situation, he followed God's will. He has absolute faith, absolute love, absolute obedience, even forgiving enemy. At that time, completely separated from Satan. That was the condition Jesus was resurrected. So Jesus saved mankind by death. Therefore, I cannot resurrect the other person unless I go to the place of death. Father talking about that's why, we really learn from the life of Jesus, life of our true parents. Okay? Please, Heavenly Honey, read this one.
The reason I relentlessly pushed you to pioneer. Whenever I eat from a hot bowl of rice on the table, I am reminded of when I was in prison and I became so grateful to everything. This is how I have lived until now. The reason why I have relentlessly pushed you out to pioneer, sent you to the province to witness, I have scolded you, and from the position of your teacher, I made you undergo severe persecution, is to make you into a person who possesses the heart of gratitude and who can have dominion over yourself. Have you become such a person? You have to revive one more time in order to obtain such a character. Without doing so, you cannot become a victor. You will get caught up in all sorts of problems.
Okay, thank you, Heavenly Honey. This final slide. The reason I relentlessly pushed you to pioneer. Whenever I eat from a hot bowl of rice on the table, I am reminded of when I was in prison and I become so grateful for everything. Father saying that sometimes not easy to appreciate. You need to think your worst situation in the past. And then, Father, sometimes, not easy situation. Sometimes a very, very poor food. Sometimes member do not prepare with the 정성. Father can see that kind of situation, but Father think that he think about his life of the prison, and then his spirit come back. Everything is appreciation. Everything is so grateful. The reason why Father said, I have relentlessly pushed you out to the pioneer, sent you to the province to witness, scolded you, and from the position of your teacher, made you undergo severe persecutions are, to make you into a person who possesses the heart of gratitude. To make you into a person who can have dominion over yourself and can separate from the Satan. And also, to make a heartistic relationship with God. That's why I think, how our true parents train us. Can you imagine when Father, mobilizing 4,200 Japanese missionaries from Japan, let them go to, South America and Caribbean nation as a missionaries. And that time I became the national messiah to the Commonwealth of Dominica. And then Father gave me 120 Japanese sisters as a missionary. I checked one by one. All of them, most of them have children, 3 children, 4 children. They left from their home. Some mother, just, small baby, just a few months. But they obey our true Father's order. Wow, when I have an interview one by one, why Father, is doing such kind of the order? Even, someone has only small, have a small baby, but Father pushed them to go out. Wow, I really looks like a Father is very cold. Looks like a Father very much push you, but actually, that was Father's love. Went from Mother, travel all over the world, each nation, and came back to Hannam-dong. And Father asked her to give the reflection. Do you know what the mother's first word? Father, I really appreciate our Japanese sisters' sacrifice. I go everywhere. Incredible Japanese members' sacrifice in Africa, Europe, and Oceania, Asia, everywhere. Without Japanese sisters' dedication and devotion, how our movement can grow up and can settle down? Mother really deeply and tearfully appreciate Japanese sisters' hard work. And then also I came to realize that in America, those who marry with the American people as a Japanese sisters, most of them are maintain their faith. I go everywhere. In Thailand, those who are strong member as a Thai man, there is Japanese wives. In Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, everywhere. I feel that without Japanese missionaries foundation, our movement collapses. In Korea, we are building many kind of the building. This money mostly come from where? Come from Japan. As a mother nation, incredible sacrifice. Father said, of course, Japan is attacked many nations, made the Second World War. Because of Japanese missionaries and members, they are the one who pay the indemnity instead of the entire nation. That's why I always carry on the spirit of the missionary as a pioneer. So now, any Japanese come to America, their position is not just only someone's wife, someone's mother, someone's husband. Their main position is what? Missionaries, as a mother, as a daughter. So I really appreciate all our Japanese sisters. They laid incredible foundation all over the world. Sometimes I feel so shameful as a Korean man. Difficult to find Korean people all over the world. In 1975, Father sent the missionaries from America, from Europe, Japan. Without their dedication, I think our movement could not develop much. You are the one who laid the incredible worldwide foundation. That's why Father said, I push you to pioneer. Push you to pioneer. Still, the whole world is really struggling. Let's raise up very well our second generation. And then let them become strong member and go to the world and serving the world. I think this is one of the way we can dedicate and devote for the sake of the world providence. Today, I'd like to remind you again, any trial, any test, this is the really kind of the series course, like trial and blessing is a series. No worry, even though you are facing trial, the blessing come. After blessing, another trial come continuously until we become perfect being, until we restore one nation, one sovereignty, one people. Today we learn very beautiful things from our true parents. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yong, for expressing God's heart and true parents' heart, and also really recognizing all the incredible investment and work our missionaries, brothers and sisters from all over the world, have been really pouring in for the sake of God and true parents. And with that, brothers and sisters, we like to break out into breakout rooms again to be able to share and digest the words that we just heard. Please share your any reflections or insights you have gained. And also, if you're joining here alone, then please take this time to reflect by yourself. So let us go into breakouts. I hope you had a nice time to be able to share your reflection or just to be able to reflect on your own. And to invite the first person to share with us, all of us, I'd like to invite up Mrs. Mary Helen Robles. So if you can please unmute yourself.
Oh, thank you, Yasu. Yes, I am so grateful to hear, to participate in this incredible education. I realized that the missionaries that were sent out from Japan and actually in Europe, I wouldn't be here if they had not been present, if they had not come. I'm so grateful for their sacrifice. And I had opportunities to sacrifice early in the church, and it gives me just a little bit of a foundation to connect to them. But I know for sure I would not be here had the brothers and sisters, the missionaries from Europe, and the foundation that was laid here, I wouldn't be here today. And I'm so unbelievably grateful for that. I'm grateful for the opportunities that I had to make some sacrifices to separate from my daughter early in the church. And it gave me kind of a strength. I think it grounded me, because I made that sacrifice. You couldn't tear me away from this movement. You couldn't tear me away from God. And I'm so grateful. So thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mary Helen. 감사합니다. I think that, when I start to realize that the earlier our American brothers and sisters dedicate so much sacrifice, so much absolutely follow true parents, and then they become missionary and go to all over the world and to serve the world. I think because of that kind of dedication and sacrifice for the sake of the world, and then united with the true parents, even though we are facing on the way many problems, I feel that American movement never ever perish, because our elderly brothers and sisters laid an incredible sacrifice, incredible foundation. As long as their Jongsung remain here, I think we can resurrect again. We can revive again. We can go forward again. I strongly believe in that. I think also American brothers and sisters, they are very honest. They are actually, if they get a right direction, a right point, a right understanding, I think they are the one who can dedicate more than any other nation. I know that they are very honest, very dedicating, they are very loyalty. So I think now it is a great time, with the mother, we can go forward. We can do many, many things actually. Thank you, Mary Helen.
Thank you very much for your sharing. And next, I'd like to invite up our very well-known Reverend Milhan Stevens to share his reflection, please.
Yeah, thank you, Yasu. In case you don't know, I do recommend people to Yasu, but this time I was with Sonoko-san Steinbronn, and I had to humble myself because she asked if I would share what I said. But of course, I appreciate the Japanese missionaries in America. I wouldn't be born without them. But, Dr. Young, I was thinking about this little poem I wrote when I was 15 called "Hardship is My Blessing." And I just, this might sound kind of unusual, but I used to pray to God, just being so jealous of Father, because he had all these trials to prove his faith. But here I was literally handed a beautiful family, my beautiful parents, siblings, life, friends, everything. And how could I possibly really prove my faith? And then I thank God that didn't forget that prayer, because he definitely gave me trials and chances to walk through hell different times in my life. So I'm just grateful that it's God. God is my Father. not Satan. And that God can give me trials that he knows I can handle, when Satan would give me trials to try to destroy me. So I'm just so grateful to God for everything.
Thank you. Thank you, Milan.
Thank you, Reverend.
I
Stevens.
love your name, Mi Ilhan. Mi means America, Il means Japan, Han means Korea. Wow. Your name is, wow, this is a great name. Mi Ilhan, Korea and Japan and America. Wow. So powerful name. In the future, you can handle 3 nations.
No problem.
Wow. That's a very incredible prediction coming for you, Reverend Stevens. And if you like, we'd definitely love to hear your poem that you made at the age of 15, if there's ever a chance for you to share. And with that, brothers and sisters, thank you so much for sharing your reflections and insights with one another. I just wanted to also encourage everyone to please don't just keep the sharing within here on morning devotion, but also share it with our family members, our friends, our neighbors, and inviting them to join this incredible experience of morning heart devotion, and especially your Trinity members, so that your online holy communities can create that strong spiritual foundation together as a Trinity. And also, we don't want to forget our own personal cheonsang of continuously every single day joining with Dr. Yong here on this morning devotion live experience. And also, in the chat, we're going to be putting the link for the donation. And for whatever you feel that comes out from your heart, we'd gladly accept any donation you'd like to share and to keeping this morning devotion ministry going. And also today, we have a very special announcement I'd like to make. It's about this weekend, or at least for tomorrow. As you may know, that there is a Cheonpyeong Special Great Works happening in Korea. And the timing of when it's happening in Korea will be in conjunction at the same time of when morning devotion is usually going on. Dr. Yong really wants all of us, brothers and sisters, to attend the Special Great Works, especially because True Mother will be speaking. And so what we're going to be doing is we will not be joining and gathering here on this Zoom call for morning devotion as we always do, but instead we'll be sending out a recording of a morning devotion of Dr. Yong's message. So you can access the recording at your own time tomorrow, either at edu.familyfed.org, or if you will consistently watch it through YouTube, then you can find it on the FFWPU USA YouTube channel, and it will be uploaded there.
Yeah, I want to edit about this point. Sorry about Yasu. Mahada is making very serious Jeongseong condition for the tomorrow, the Cheonpyeong Great Work event, because this time is the first time happening. From the, I think what I know, South of Africa, the Prophet Hadebe, I think his entire group, I think more than 1 million group is joining the, Cheonpyeong Great Work. So Mother encouraged to all entire our membership and participate together and then joining the Cheonpyeong Great Work. And then we can listen also beautiful our Mother's word. But anyway, I know that the same time as our morning devotion, and I try to record my speech, and then you can watch anytime. I think that's why that is an important point. Please, we more pay attention to the Mother's word.
Thank you, Dr. Yong. Yes. And I was also just notified that you can watch tomorrow's morning devotion recording on Facebook as well. And with that, brothers and sisters, to close out this incredible experience today with the musical offering, I'd like to invite up Mr. John Kirkley. If you can please unmute yourself and share your musical offering.
Hello, I'm John Kirkley in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I'm American. My wife is French. First daughter married Dutch. Second daughter married Japanese. Third daughter married Spanish. You can see my American flag behind me, and this is the tie that I wore.
Oh my God!
I wore this tie at Yankee Stadium and Washington Monument, and the tie was given to me by Father.
Wow, wow, wow.
I have over 100 ties, but this is my most precious.
Wow, great.
So Mary Helen Robles appreciates the Japanese missionaries, and Milhan Stevens appreciates Japanese mothers. Well, I wouldn't be here without the holy songs. I remember my early days back in February, March, April of '74, going to the Washington Street Center, and they would sing holy songs. And of course, I never had heard them before, but they were so beautiful, and the music was beautiful, and the words were profound, like beautiful morning sunrise. But I really do feel that here in America, we need to sing the American patriotic songs. We all know our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, but how about Woody Guthrie, This Land Is Your Land, This Land Is My Land? How about Battle Hymn of the Republic, which is so majestic? I mean, you can hear the soldiers marching. You can see them in their watchfires and 100 circling camps, eating and sleeping, realizing that the next day, many would die in the battle. But my very favorite is God of Our Fathers. And God of Our Fathers is actually our national hymn, not the national anthem, but the national hymn. But I had a tooth taken out yesterday, so I need a little help, if you'll forgive me. Let's see what we can do. Whose almighty hand leads forth in beauty all the starry band of shining worlds in splendor through the skies. Our grateful song before thy throne arise. Can you hear?
We can hear you.
Love divine hath led us in the past. In this free land, by thee our lot is cast. Be thou our ruler, guardian, guide, and stay. Thy word our law, thy paths our chosen way. From war's alarms, from deadly pestilence. Pestilent, this is the age of COVID. Be thy strong arm our ever sure defense. Thy true religion in our hearts increase. Thy bounteous goodness nourish us in peace. Refresh thy people on their toilsome way. Lead us from night to never-ending day. Fill all our lives with love and grace divine. And glory, Lord, and praise be ever thine. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Patriot song. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kirkley, for sharing your patriotic spirit with all of us. And brothers and sisters, to end this experience now, I'd like to invite up Mrs. Calissa Quilares to offer the closing prayer.
Yes, let us pray. Please join me in prayer. Good morning, our most beloved Heavenly Parent, to your parents, and to your elder brother Jesus. Well, thank you so much for this day, this morning, that we could start off to, yes, really receive your word from our Dr. Yong, who is currently in Korea with our True Mother, who is going to be doing especially your great works tomorrow, God. And I pray with this strong song that we're able to offer together across the nation and across the world. Heavenly Parents, we're really grateful that we could take this opportunity to, yes, now go out and also embrace our brothers and sisters, really share this word with our brothers and sisters, Heavenly Parents, and especially with this importance of understanding that not only your motherly side, your care, Heavenly Parents, but also the importance of candor and the strength that you can give us through the trials, the tribulations, to be strengthened, Heavenly Parent, that we can be separated from our fallen nature, from Satan, and that we can grow to be children, Heavenly Parents, that can be called your own, really resemble you, God. So I pray that as we are going through anything that you place before us, Heavenly Parents, that we can ask for even more, God, to be even more strengthened, Heavenly Parent, and that we can also look to our first generation, look to everyone who paved the way for even us, the second generation, to be given this beautiful opportunity to stand on a clear foundation, to be closer to you, Heavenly Parents. So we're so grateful for all the sacrifices before us and all the investments paved ahead of us. And I pray that we can go through it gratefully, through it humbly, and with yes, a heart of desire and heart for you, Heavenly Parents. So thank you so much. Now, God, I just like to offer up this prayer to you in all our names and in my name. Because me, because it are definitely chaos, blessed your family. Adieu. Adieu.
Thank you so much, our 칼리사 리사코. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Calissa. And with that, brothers and sisters, we hope you can tune in and join True Mother as she speaks tomorrow morning. And also, yeah, don't forget to tune in for Dr. Young's morning devotion recording tomorrow at your own time. With that, have a great day and blessed day, everybody. Bye-bye.
감사합니다. Thank you. 감사합니다.